Lambton-Kent-Middlesex.
Well, thank you very much, Speaker. My question this morning is to the Minister of Citizenship, Immigration and International Trade. Minister, yesterday we talked about how in the last 15 months the Fairness Commissioner has expensed over $3,400 in limousine rides, $3.41 for airplane headphones, and even $43.35 for a sightseeing tour in Finland, all to Ontario's taxpayers. Yesterday, you also refused to answer a simple question, and that was if you agreed with these types of expenses and entitlements. So, Minister, I'm going to ask you again. Has your office ordered the Fairness Commissioner to repay these unfair expenses, and if so, how much has a Fairness Commissioner paid back?
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Speaker, and I want to thank the member opposite for his question. Speaker, our government has expense guidelines in place. They are very clear. We expect them to be respected by all public officials at all levels of government. The Fairness Commissioner is required to follow the guidelines of the OPS Travel, Meal and Hospitality Expenses Directive. I understand that the documents disclosed to the PC include expenses submitted to ministry officials, not necessarily approved expenses. It is also my understanding that while expenses were paid and others withdrawn, the Minister of Citizenship, Immigration is currently reviewing all the Ontario Fairness Commission's expenses. Speaker, when this review is complete, I plan to release all expenses online to the public. Thank you, Speaker.
Well, Minister, yesterday your office stated that the Fairness Commissioner had withdrawn or paid back the unfair expenses, but according to an email dated January 2014, your deputy had approved all expenses submitted except for $18.92 worth of meal claims. That means the limo rides were approved and the sightseeing tour was approved. Minister, I believe taxpayers have a right to know that your ministry paid over $20,000 in expenses in the last 15 months for what is described as a part-time job that already pays $1,700 per week. Minister, there's a simple solution. Will you immediately order the Fairness Commissioner to begin posting her expenses online for all people in the province of Ontario to see?
Question, thank you. Minister.
Did you not hear?
Speaker, thank you very much for the question. I wish the member opposite kind of like listening to my responses. Speaker, I have said I have instructed my ministry to start examining all the Ontario Fairness Commissioner's expenses. When the review is completed, I really plan to release publicly, and it will be posted online. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Well, thank you, Speaker, and back to the Minister. Minister, Ontario's current Fairness Commissioner is the first and only Fairness Commissioner that Ontario has ever had. She was appointed by your predecessor, the MPP from Eglinton Lawrence, in exchange for giving up her federal seat to failed Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff. And Minister, according to her website, the Fairness Commissioner presides over 13 senior staffers, one of whom is a close relative of the person who appointed her. Minister, do you think it is fair for government appointees like the Fairness Commissioner to hire and employ relatives of the very person who appointed them?
Minister.
Speaker, again, thank you very much for the question. Speaker, our government has always and will always be committed to openness and transparency and accountability. This is why we have brought forward Bill number 8. Speaker, the Accountability Act, which is currently before the House. The Act will require all MPPs and senior executives in all agencies to post their expenses online, including the Fairness Commissioner. Bill number 8 proposes to amend the Public Sector Expenses Review Act to provide the Integrity Commissioner with the ability to review executive expenses. Speaker, the scope of the Integrity Commission's review will expand to all 197 classified agencies, including the OFC. Speaker, I'm sure that the member opposite will urge his caucus to pass the act. Thank you, Speaker.
New question, the member from Bruce Grey.